The community of Delagrande is about over an hour and a half by very bumpy, very hilly, several incredibly steep hills. So really only all-terrain vehicles or jeeps can get through there. My name is Jenny Huntley, and I'm a registered midwife, and I've been volunteering with Midwives for Haiti. Many women have told me they've come from quite a far distance, an hour, even a couple hours of walking. Women seem to really be drawn to having someone just do a quick assessment of them and feel their belly and hear the baby's heartbeat and hear that everything is going well. Because of the Jeep, we're going to be able to run these mobile clinics to include places like Delagrande that we haven't been able to go to because of distance.
And we are so glad you're here. My name is Mike Holman. I'm president of our club this year. And again, we appreciate having everyone here today for our 9th annual Above and Beyond Awards. We're going to get started with an invocation that's going to be led by Pastor Danny Stockstill with Brookside Church. Danny's also a volunteer member with the Tulsa Police and Fire Chaplaincy Corps. After Danny gives the invocation, we're going to have a presentation of the colors by the Tulsa Fire Department Color Guard and the Tulsa Police Department Honor Guard. And after the colors are posted, Danny will then lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And after that, we're going to sing, Detective Reggie Warren is going to lead us in singing the Star Spangled Banner. So hopefully everyone remembers all that. I know it's a long list, but... And then after that, Carl Vincent's going to introduce our visitors. So in about 45 minutes or so, I'll be back up here. So Danny, do you want to come up? Thanks.
All right, well, when I first began as a chaplain, I was told the difference between a police officer and a firefighter. Firefighters, when they roll up on a scene, everybody is excited they're there. They give them hugs. When an officer rolls up, there's at least one person that's not happy that they are there. And so this afternoon, I want you all to know we are all excited you're here. Thank you for what you do and the way you serve our community. Let's pray together. Heavenly Father, we are blessed to be in a city where the leaders love and care for every one of their citizens. We are blessed to be in a community that is served by such great men and women in our fire departments and in our police department. This morning, as we recognize these men and women that are here, help us to not forget that behind each of them are hundreds of others that are serving day in and day out selfishly to protect us. Today, we thank you for the opportunity to honor them, and we pray that you continue to be with their families and be with their relationships and be with their communities as they continue to serve us. Amen. Would you all please welcome as a joint color guard presents our colors. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing as the colors are posted and the national anthem is sung.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Thank you so much to the Color Guard. It always gives me chills to see the colors presented. I received a note before introductions on official Rotary letterhead. There's a pickup truck with tag numbers AXH500. It's a Chevy 1500 pickup truck. It's parked in an alley. It's blocking the way. We have enough law enforcement here. It could be towed if it's not moved immediately. I'm going to introduce the visitors today for our Rotary Club. There are a number of other visitors that will be introduced for the Above and Beyond Awards, but I'm going to name the host, the visitor, and we will join together in a round of applause after the introductions are made. If the host and their visitor will please rise when your names are called and then be seated so we can recognize you. First of all, today, Jerry Barrientos brought with her Lupe Latimer, Leslie Springer, and Brittany Armour, all from First Mate Financial. Kip Lyken brought Julie Simone. I saw Kip earlier. There they are. Thank you for being here. Paul Ballman of Bank First brought fellow bankers Robert Raines, Matt Waddell, and Jordy Matson. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Kara Neal brought Prima Donna Braddock. And say hi to Prima Donna. She's a prospective member. Roberta Preston brought Doug Napier. She also brought Missy Burchett with her today. Richard Holmes brought Harrison Smith of BOK Trust. Mr. Holmes. Jack McGlumphy brought Charles Groom. Tony Oliva brought someone we all know, Rochelle Parker. Where are you sitting, Rochelle? John Stava brought Kurt Helen of Stava Building. George Shahadi brought Oscar Dozal. George. Karen McCannell brought guest Bruce Horgan. Karen, Bruce. Connie Pearson brought Elizabeth Osborne of the Tulsa Chamber. Thank you for coming. Sandra Mullins brought Lindsay Henderson of Final Touch Cleaning. Thank you, ladies. Please join me in welcoming our guests. We have one visiting Rotarian from Southside Tulsa, Mr. Brent. Hi, Brent. Thank you all.
All right, thank you, Carl. Appreciate that. Boy, the first part of this program could be a program in itself, couldn't it? Man, I love this. Okay, just a little bit of club business, and then we'll get on to the reason we're really here. Some announcements. Our medical supply network work day is this Saturday morning from 8 to 12. We had a really good sign up last week. We need another really good one. We're trying to get about 25 people out there. So if you got 4 hours or a couple hours Saturday morning, please sign up for that. Get with either Dr. Tim Caldwell or get with Tina, and we'll get you signed up. And then we got a lot going on in this club this spring. This is amazing. Camp Enterprise is April 5th through the 8th. If you know a high school junior that would be interested in going to this camp, please let them know. Direct them to our Camp Enterprise website. And if you could find some time to be a camp counselor, we need some counselors to spend the weekend with these great kids. And I promise you, if you do this, you will do it year after year after year. It's such a great thing. And then on April 3rd is our annual meeting with our Oklahoma City Club. We're driving down the turnpike. We're renting a bus. And so we need people to sign up so we can get a good head count on that. Tulsan George Kaiser is actually going to be the speaker there. So we want to show up in mass and really show our support for Mr. Kaiser. And on that, you can get with either Alicia Herrera, David Downing, or again, Tina. And then March is our March Madness membership drive. As a reminder, that's going hot and heavy. You've got some cards on your table. If you are not on a team right now and want to be on a team, just put your name on this card and we will get you assigned to a team. It's going to be some great fun. It's going to be competitive, and I'm looking forward to that. Okay, for our guest, in lieu of giving our speakers each week a coffee mug or something like that, we donate a book to our partner in education school, which is Sealy Clinton Elementary. And we've been doing this for years. We have built their library, literally. And so today we will be presenting 2 books. The first book will be I Want to Be a Firefighter, and that one is in honor of the fire department. And the other one, not to be outdone by the fire department, the other one is Busy People, Police Officers, in honor of our police department. So just know that those books are being presented to the kids out there. They love them. Excuse me. Upcoming programs. Next week, Tulsa Public Schools Superintendent Deborah Gist will be our guest speaker. And she's got her hands full right now, but she's taken time out to come visit with us. And she's going to share with us her vision of making Tulsa Public Schools a destination of extraordinary educators. And Deborah is also an honorary Rotarian, and she will report on the district's drive to attract extraordinary educators who will work with our community and our families to ignite the joy of learning and prepare every student for success. And then the week after that, on March 21st, Jeff Mickler, the general manager of the BOK Center, will be with us. He's going to talk to us about 10 years of Stars and Sizzle. This is the 10th anniversary of the BOK Center, which is just mind-boggling. Jeff's going to provide a behind-the-scenes look at managing the venue and booking the talent that has made our BOK Center a top-ranked entertainment venue in the world. So that'll be interesting. Okay, enough of our club business. Let's get on here. I'm going to introduce our Rotarian of the day today, who is Roberta Preston. Roberta is the Chief Executive Officer of the Girl Scouts of Eastern Oklahoma. Earlier this year, Roberta was named as a distinguished alumni of the Collins College of Business at the University of Tulsa. That's a big deal. Congratulations. Roberta joined our club in August of 2013, and she has been very active on several committees. This year, Roberta, along with Tiffany Egdorf, are the co-chairs of the 9th Annual Above and Beyond program. Please join me in welcoming to the podium Roberta Preston. I'll get you to... Okay. There you go.
Thanks, President Mike. Good afternoon. On behalf of the Rotary Club of Tulsa, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the annual Above and Beyond Awards. Before we get started, I have one housekeeping announcement. On your table are flower arrangements provided by Comia's. If you would please take one back to your office or home. You can leave $20 on the table, and that will support Above and Beyond Awards for next year. Now, for what we're here for. Each year, the recipients of these distinguished awards amaze us, with not only their courage and determination, but also how they repeatedly go above and beyond the call of duty. This year is no exception, and I know you're eager to meet our honorees and hear their stories. Before that, though, we would like to extend our sincere appreciation to our presenting sponsors, Tulsa Community Foundation and the Rotary Club of Tulsa Foundation. Representing the Tulsa Community Foundation is Chief Development Officer Mike Dodson and TCF Program Officer Jennifer Sizemore. Representing the Rotary Club of Tulsa Foundation is its Chair of the Board of Trustees, Duff Weddle. Will you please stand? Our other sponsors and donors are displayed on the screens and are also listed in your program. Their donations enable the club to continue our tradition. Will all of our sponsors or their representatives please stand and be recognized? Your generosity supports this event and enables the Rotary Club of Tulsa Foundation to donate $5,000 in the recipients' names to their charities of choice. These awards would not be possible without the tireless effort of the Above and Beyond Awards Committee. The members are listed on the screen, and a special shout out to my co-chair, Tiffany Egdorf. Would the members of the Above and Beyond Committee please stand? I would also be remiss if I didn't mention two people who've been absolutely essential in putting this awards program together. Ladies, when I introduce you, would you please stand? Marlo Dean, Assistant to the Fire Chief at the Tulsa Fire Department. And Debbie Stefanik, Administrative Services Officer at the Tulsa Police Department. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our Master of Ceremonies. She is celebrating her 26th year at KOTV. She's the co-anchor of the News on 6 at 5 o'clock, along with Craig Day, and is the station's crime reporter. In addition to the crime beat, she has traveled all over the world covering news that affects Oklahomans. She is a two-time Emmy award-winning journalist who has received numerous awards and honors, including the Newsy Award by the Tulsa Press Club for Favorite Reporter in 2013, and the Tulsa Police Department Citizens Appreciation Award in 2005. She has taught broadcasting classes at TCC as an adjunct professor and speaks to groups all over the state about crime safety. Ladies and gentlemen, Please join me in welcoming back for our 5th straight time as our Master of Ceremonies, Lori Fulbright. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here this year. I'm always honored to be asked, so I appreciate that very much. And every year I tell you this, I am overwhelmed by the stories of the 2 recipients, and this year is no different. I have to say, this year, both of our winners are a little unique. So we have a firefighter of the year who started his life as a small child who set fire to a bedroom with his sister in the bed. And we have a police officer who thought he would become a police officer until he could figure out what else he wanted to do. And decades later, he says he's still trying to figure that out. So they are also men of contrast. So we have a police officer who is tough enough to patrol the mean streets of Tulsa for decades, and yet he has a heart so soft that he goes and works with kids. And we have a firefighter who does not even think twice about running into a burning building, but he has the heart and soul of an artist. So you guys are really going to enjoy getting to hear their stories and learning more about them because they are true, true heroes, and we are so excited to honor them today. Mayor G.T. Bynum, who has been a member of the Rotary Club of Tulsa since 2014 and as now mayor is an honorary member, he had planned to be here today and he apologizes, but he had to attend a funeral. So he has asked Chief Chuck Jordan to speak on his behalf a little bit later in the program. So before we begin, I would like to introduce to you some of our other special guests who are here today. Here's how this is going to work. There's a lot of names. So hold your applause until I get all of them in, and then you can have at it, okay? From the Tulsa City Councilor, we have Councilors Jeannie Q, and you guys can stand, please, Vanessa Hall Harper, Karen Gilbert, and Rotarian and past President Phil Lakin Jr. Are they here? And from the Tulsa County Commissioner's Office, I saw her, Rotarian and past President Karen Keith. Go ahead and stand up. District Attorney Steve Kunzweiler, I saw him in the audience. Welcome. So now please join me in welcoming all of our elected officials. Excellent rule followers. Let's try that again. So now from the Tulsa Fire Department, we have the Fire Chief Ray Driscoll, and his guests include Deputy Chief Scott Clark, Deputy Chief Andy Teeter, Deputy Chief Michael Atchison, stand up, Assistant Chief Mike Bailey, Administrative Chief Brent Goins, and from Station 22, Platoon Nominator Dylan Youngblood, Platoon Nominator Kelly Fox Meeks, crew members Gerald Edwards. Are y'all standing? Because I'm not looking up, so you better be standing. Eddie Mangold, Ben Weaver, Ben Weber, Vinnie Stoops, Alan Pugh, and BJ Herring, and Honor Guard Coordinator Nick Swainston, Honor Guard members Sam Rimmert and Brandon Potter. I don't think they're standing, so please, though, still help me welcome them. Thank you. And from the Tulsa Police Department, of course, we have the Police Chief Chuck Jordan, and his guests include today Deputy Chief Jonathan Brooks, Deputy Chief Dennis Larson, Major Julie Harris, Sergeant Laura Fadum, Assistant to the Deputy Chiefs Chloe Williams, Officers Kyle Beck and Josh McMath of the Motorcycle Unit, Honor Guard members, Officers Alex Pfeiffer and Brandon Smith. Please welcome them as well. Every single one of our Above and Beyond award recipients, they're listed in your printed program. Also, at some point, we'll have them on the screen for you. But we are honored that a few of them could be with us today, and we are always so glad when they come back to this banquet after they've been honored. So please stand as I call your name and hold your applause until I get through them. Last year's recipients are here, Firefighter Greg McCord and Detective Chad Moyer. Are you here? 2015 recipients, Firefighter Earl Blevins and Police Officer Anthony First. 2012 recipients, Firefighter Scotty Stokes, retired Firefighter John Wintle, and Police Corporal Dan Ward. And our 2009 recipient, Firefighters Adrienne Seibel and Captain Mike Ward. And from our very first year, of course, we honor the memory of Police Officer Jennifer Mansell and the impact she had on our community. Please give a very warm welcome to our past Above and Beyond recipients. And you guys know this, and I see it every day in the stories that I cover, but the men and women of the Tulsa Fire and Police Departments, they get up every day and they have no idea what's lying ahead of them. They're going to risk their lives and their limbs for people that they don't even know. Sometimes they make split-second decisions that impact lives for a very long time. It is comforting to me, and I'm sure it is to you as well, to know that our firefighters and police officers in Tulsa are expertly trained, and they're prepared to deal with whatever can be thrown at them. The Rotary Club of Tulsa is recognizing, of course, special individuals who are not only outstanding in their careers, but they also go above and beyond to serve their community. And new this year is a special award posthumously named after Rotarian George Hamilton, who had been a staunch supporter of the Above and Beyond Awards, an active committee member, and even former chair of that committee. George was a Club Foundation Fellow, a Paul Harris Fellow, and a member of the Rotary Club of Tulsa from 1995 until he passed last year. His career was primarily as a special agent for the FBI, and he worked closely with Tulsa police. George's wife, Claudia, and daughter, Brooke Hamilton, are both here with us today, and we would like them to stand and be recognized. Also from Oklahoma City, representing the FBI on George's behalf, is Catherine Peterson, FBI Special Agent in Charge. Kate, would you please stand as well? Thank you. The award will be called the George B. Hamilton Special Award, and the recipients for our very first time to give out this award are both 911 dispatchers for Tulsa Fire and the Police Department. Representing 911 is the 911 Director, Terry O'Malley. Terry, will you please stand? Is Terry here? As you guys can well imagine, the psychological impact on 911 personnel is tremendous. Most of these dispatchers are so vested in that moment of getting those people help, and then often they don't even have any idea how it all turned out. Typically, no one goes by and says thank you for the work that they do. The Above and Beyond Committee recognizes the important role that 911 dispatchers play in emergency situations for our fellow citizens and first responders. So we're going to today salute these two unsung heroes, Amanda Dunn and Ginger Ward. They are both dispatchers who consistently are referred to by firefighters and police officers as the best of the best. Their consistency in providing quality dispatching and the fact that their voices sound similar on the radio makes it difficult for first responders to know exactly which one they've got, but they know they're both good. So Amanda and Ginger have also assisted in training new folks who come in, and they work on various committees to try to always improve 911 services. They lead by example. They help when they're off duty, as you know how that goes for first responders, because everyone says these two are wise in their decisions and they are unrelenting in their dedication. So Ginger and Amanda, please come to the stage. We would like to present you today with the Above and Beyond Award pin and the George B. Hamilton Special Award.
Amanda and Ginger, on behalf of the Rotary Club of Tulsa, we are honored to present you with the first annual George B. Hamilton Special Award. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. As you know, it seems like the only 911 calls that make it on the news are the ones where they don't do a good job, but you guys, we recognize hundreds, thousands of amazing calls that go out every day that offer help to people, and they don't get recognition. So we're so pleased for that recognition to happen today. This is the third year in a row that the award for the Firefighter of the Year has been named after former Tulsa Fire Chief E. Stanley Hawkins. He passed away in 2013 at the age of 92. He served the department for 37 years, 21 of those as chief. Chief Hawkins was a former president of the Oklahoma State Firefighters Association and president of the International Association of Fire Chiefs. He was a past president of the Rotary Club of Tulsa, as well as a member of the American Legion, Akdar Shrine, VFW, and Royal Order of Justers. Chief Hawkins' experience, leadership, and service to this community were exemplary and will be long remembered. And we are pleased again this year that his wife, Marcia Hawkins, is here to join us. Marcia, please stand so we can recognize you. Also this year, I love this, a new special ribbon has been created with the approval of both TPD and TFD so that each one of the Above and Beyond recipients can proudly wear this ribbon on their uniform, designating them as an Above and Beyond award recipient. So we tried to catch the past recipients as they came in and gave them their ribbons when they checked in, and then we will distribute the ribbons to those who are not here today. Now, if you are here as a former recipient but did not get your ribbon today, please make sure you stop at the check-in table on your way out because we want to make sure you have that. Now, here's to the good stuff, what we're all here for. To present the Above and Beyond Award for the Firefighter of the Year, please welcome to the stand Chief of the Tulsa Fire Department, Ray Driscoll.
Good afternoon. First of all, I want to thank the Rotary Club for the recognition that they give to these people, but particularly to the 911 operators. Folks, I can't tell you what these folks do and what they do for us. The lives that they've saved, of things that they do, and the way they send us out on calls. It's really amazing to me that you guys can do what you do, Amanda and Ginger. I hear you guys on the radio all the time, and I have for years. This is not near enough of a thank you to you two for what you do. I don't think the people out there really know how many lives you've saved, including firefighters and police officers. So thank you again for what the two of you do. You know, each year I get up here, excuse me, and I always make some kind of comment about Chief Jordan. You'd be glad to know, sir, I've matured over the year. And so I'm not going to do anything. You don't believe that? Folks at this table would agree with you, so that's not a bad thing. But, you know, Chief and I work very well together, and I appreciate the police department and things that they do. But, folks, I just can't tell you what quality of people you've got within the police and the fire department. The way that we work together and the things that they do, and they put their lives on the line, it's truly amazing to me, and we're really fortunate as citizens of Tulsa to have these folks. And when you see them, if you would, pat them on the back and tell them thank you for what they do. I was asked to say a few things about Chief Hawkins, and this is a part that gets very tough for me because obviously I get to sit next to Mrs. Hawkins each year. And I've got a few stories about Chief Hawkins. I was the last class in 1985 that he hired. And so obviously when I become fire chief, I was not naive to know that this man had a lot of knowledge and a lot of respect. Up until the time of his death, I leaned on him quite a bit about giving me advice. He's been there, he knew it. But what I didn't know was that how he was viewed in the public, right? So I had come to several meetings here at the Rotary Club. He obviously, I've told this story several times, but he obviously sat at a table back here, and he sat in that spot every Wednesday when he came for lunch. And one day he asked me to sit with him. Now, unbeknownst to me, there were other people that sat at that same table. So I can assure you, when I went, I asked him if I could carry his plate. So we went to sit at the table, and the gentleman, when I almost sat down next to him, quickly informed me that you won't be sitting there. It don't matter what kind of badge you're wearing, it's not going to happen. It was not Chief Jordan. This guy was good looking, so this was he was better looking. How's that, Chief? Will that work for you? Okay. But anyway, I really saw when the people at the Rotary Club, how they treated Chief Hawkins. And the things that they talked about him. I would go to the National Fire Academy in Emmitsburg, Maryland, and people would talk about Chief Stanley Hawkins from Tulsa. It is amazing what this man did for the city and did for the fire service, not just in Oklahoma, not just in the United States, but across the world. This guy was unbelievable. So it was very fortunate and proper, I think, a few years ago when they asked Mrs. Hawkins do you care if we name this after Chief Hawkins? And of course, she thought it was a great idea. I too think it's a great idea because when you look at the people that have won this award in the past, they had the same type of leadership qualities that he has, some of the ones that Lori brought up. He was a truly inspiration to a lot of people, and to name this after him was just an excellent idea. This year's recipient, as you've seen, is Craig Deerenwater. You know, I tried to sit down before we do these things, and obviously I read what people submit about people, the firefighters, when they put them up there. Craig's different. First of all, dude, I didn't know you lit a fire to a bed. I don't remember that being in your BIQ anywhere, okay? I don't know what statute of limitations is, but partner, we need to talk. But you know, when you look at the things he does, Craig is one of those types of people, when he comes by headquarters, he always comes in and says, hi, how are you doing? How are things going? How can I help? That's him. That's just who he is. And we will tell you stories shortly in a video of things that he's done. But folks, it doesn't give the proper magnitude of what kind of person he is. He works at a station out east, and there are teenagers that come by and visit with him, and he is truly a mentor to those people. And we make sure that we do that at fire stations to open it up to the community so little kids can come by. And in some communities, they're less fortunate than the others, and police officers and firefighters offer mentorship to these people. Craig's one of those types of people. Craig's a paramedic for the fire department. He's been doing that for about 10 years, and he will make runs to people on his duty day and then go by on his day off and see how these people are doing. Folks, you don't teach that. That's the kind of heart that we try to find in people when we try to hire them. That's why we spend a lot of time doing it. And I just can't teach that to people. But the good thing about it is he's employed by the Tulsa Fire Department, and he's able to mentor other people who come on the job and work around him. I visited with one of his folks that work with him, and they're so happy of the things that he does. When a firefighter needs off, you know, we work a 24-hour shift, and so when they need time off, if there's not vacation, you're not going to get off. You call Craig. He's one of those people. Something that was, you know, you can prepare these things and talk about people. The thing that really hit me this morning about Craig Deerenwater, I was in a meeting this morning, and some of the people said, hey, what are you doing later today? And I said, well, we've got the Above and Beyond Rotary Club meeting today, and we're going to give it to someone. They said, well, who's that? There's several people in this meeting. And they said, well, it's going to be Craig Deerenwater. And somebody said, oh, well, that's proper. What did he do? And somebody else in the room said, he's Craig. That's just what he does. Folks, you don't make those types of stories up. This is just what influence this guy has had on us. He is a particularly good artist, and I hope that you'll see some of those pictures of things that he's done. He's painted murals at headquarters. He's done it on fire stations, and we've even given him the opportunity to do it on fire trucks. He's just that good. He's just got a good heart. Craig, I'm very proud of you. I love you. You're doing a great job, and we're very fortunate to have you. If you would at this time, turn your attention to the screen.
Just the difference you make in someone's life. You know, you see a lot of tragedy, but on the other side, you get to help a lot. I remember one lady, she didn't want to let go of my hand, and so I rode to the hospital with her in an ambulance, just so that it would comfort her. I think it's just putting myself in their spot. You know, what would I want a firefighter to do for me? You come into their home, you know, and you kind of make that relationship real quick, and they help you. You're grateful, and you usually forget about it, but I can just kind of take it a step further. Let them know, hey, I care about you. I just want to know how your follow-up is. Is there anything else I can do for you? And that's just, I think, just part of the Tulsa Fire Department as well. When I knock on the door, they're like, hey, I didn't call you again, and they're just like, hey, I'm just here to check on you, make sure everything's fine. And they appreciate it. They're overwhelmed by it. They welcome me in and talk about it, and just periodically go and check on them and just become friends. I had a good friend I have on the fire department. We share the same birthday, and so I wanted to do something special for him. I never painted anything. So I developed my first canvas painting that was of him, of course. I take a lot in visually. And, you know, some of it could be the emotions that people experience, and I kind of relate that into my paintings. Very visual, definitely, very visual. I take everything in. colors, lights, shadows, everything. And I just remember that, and that's actually a stress reliever for me.
Oh, yeah. That being a firefighter.
Yep. And go home, everyone's at work, at school. I just set up in the kitchen where it has the best light, and I sit there all day with the music and just paint away. And I'm thinking, okay, they want me to do another art project, no problem. And so they start telling me, you've been selected as Rotary Club of Tulsa's Firefighter of the Year. And I took that as being nominated. And I was like, oh, okay, that's great. Yeah, thank you, that's one honor. And then starts explaining, well, you get this, you get to do that, you get to come to this luncheon. And I'm like, wait a minute. I stopped, I said, you telling me I won? And he's like, yes, you were the winner this year. And that was totally, I was speechless. It caught me by surprise, and I was like thinking, I don't deserve this. I was proud, but of course I was surprised as well. I'm thinking there's other people out there deserve this more than I do. So it did catch me by surprise. I just want to thank them just for taking time out every year and recognize these departments, because they do so much every year round, 24/7. They don't get to see us out in the cold in the middle of the night. I've watched sunrises, I've seen full moons at night, everything. And it's an honor, definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Craig Deerenwater.
That's a story.
Craig, man, you're a good guy, man. On behalf of the Rotary Club of Tulsa, we are honored to present to you a check in the amount of $2,500 to your designated charity of choice, Hydrants of Hope. In addition, we want to present you 2 tickets to the Henry P. Iba Citizen Athletes Award in June. It'll be our 25th, where you will be recognized. And we want to present you with a pin, ribbon, and trophy recognizing you as the 2018 Above and Beyond Firefighter of the Year. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Good afternoon. Great words said by Chief Driscoll. Kind of caught me by surprise, kind of tearing up over there a little bit. But I want to thank the Rotary Club of Tulsa, first of all, for holding a day out of every year to recognize the Tulsa Fire Department and the Tulsa Police Department. We work together, hand in hand out there. And I kind of prepared a little speech just on a special occasion. When they told me that day, I was very surprised. I was totally speechless. I didn't know what to say. I just kept saying thank you. I just kept shaking their hand, thank you, thank you. But I want to thank the other nominees of this award today. I know they inspire me. They continue to show their passion for the job, and that keeps me going. And also, there's some people I'd like to thank. Tulsa Fire Department Administration. I've worked around these gentlemen for years. I've seen them as captains and moving up the ranks, district chief, assistant chief, deputy chief, and fire chief. I was at 22s, and he was a C platoon district chief, and now he's presenting me an award as a fire chief. So I guess you see that stuff after 18 years. Kind of the older guy at the station with my crew over there. I want to thank the city of Tulsa for taking a chance on me back in '99. I was just a skinny little kid from Bristow, and I weighed like 150, and now I'm like 2-something. So, of course, I want to thank my family. I'll look over here because you guys are going to make me cry. my fiance, I'll get to you. My daughters came today. They took the day off from school, but I'm glad they got to share this with me today. My sisters, one flew out from Arizona to be here today, and the other one just recently moved here from Arizona. And there's a story about this bear I brought up, and it concerns my sister and the burning bed. So, but I want to thank my fiance. She's always supportive of me, and I don't know, I guess just tell you, you light my fire. And just don't do it when I'm asleep in bed, all right? And my father, he always instilled hard work in us, and he got that from his dad. And I'm just going to pass it on today to look at my daughters and say, keep working hard. Personal story about the burning bed. I know everyone's curious about it. We'll rewind it, go back to late 70s when I was about 4 or 5 years old. And we grew up in a big family, so I was the youngest. And the way the house was, my room was up front, and then you had dining room and then the living room, and everyone else's bedrooms were back there. One of my favorite pastimes was sitting in the kitchen as my mom cooked. I'd sit on the counter and talk to her. Well, she had to light the pilot light, so she reaches in her utility drawer, takes out a box of matches, the wooden matches, and lights it and puts it back. And I saw that, and so I'm like, okay. So I go to bed that night, and I get up and sneak over to the kitchen, grab that box of matches out, and head back to my room. And I guess it was just striking it and seeing that flame that I was I was just amazed by it. And I'd blow it out, light the next one. And this continued on, and next thing I know, I have a pile of matches here that I have to hide. So there was a floor register where the AC came, and I just stuck them down in there. And so this continued on for a while, and it was a weekend, and I'm thinking, well, how am I going to get my box of matches tonight? Because when I go to bed, I don't have to go across the dining room. My parents are going to see me. What are you doing up? Yeah, I don't know, getting milk and cookies? I don't know. So I said, deviated a plan and said, can I sleep with my sisters tonight? And they're like, yeah. So I sneak in there, they go to sleep, and I'm looking at them, and they're sound asleep. And I was like, all right, now it's time to get busy. Mind you, I'm just a little guy. And so I grab that box of matches and head back and jump on the other side of the bed so no one can see me. And I start lighting them. And I guess I lit underneath the bed, and those little threads, it's just singed up. It didn't catch fire, and I thought that was just so cool looking. And I guess that's just a pyromaniac in me or something. I just like, whoa, that's amazing. And so after a while, I got bored with that. I said, well, I saw sheet music down there. My sister played the violin. And so I was like, hey, let's just light this on fire, see if it singes up. It didn't. It doubled in size. Next thing I know, the bed's on fire, and it's getting bigger, and I start crying. And I remember seeing this visually through teary eyes and crying, not because my sister's in the bed, it's because I'm going to be in trouble. So and it's getting bigger and bigger. It starts climbing up the wall. Next thing I know, it's hitting the ceiling, coming over. And my sister's still there in bed, and I'm just crying. I don't know what to do. But all I know is I'm in big-time trouble now. But at the time, my parents said she had a habit of scooting down towards the middle of the bed at night. And that's the only thing that probably saved her. And it sure wasn't me. But my other sister, she's actually here today. Thank God. You know. You should probably give her an award for surviving her childhood with me. So, but my sister came in, grabbed me. I was bawling. I didn't know what to do. Parents called the fire department. They rushed us outside. And they kept saying how excited I was to see the fire trucks come down the hill and pull that hose off and start putting out that fire. And they just said, it started at a young age. And it continued. They'd find evidence, burnt towels or burnt papers. And my mom had a good friend that she used to watch me when she was at work. And she came over to the house and said, how are we going to break them of this? And this is where Freddie comes in. Freddie is my bear. When I was little, he was my best buddy and pal. I mean, nothing could touch Freddie. So she recommends to my mom, get something he loves, and threatened to burn it. So here she goes in my room. She comes out with Freddie in hand. I'm like, what are you doing with him? You know, he has nothing to do with this. So she grabs Freddie right by the neck, and I'm like, hey, easy with that. You know, he's fragile. You know, I mean, you look at him, he's got stitches on his neck, no nose. His eye's been sewn, I don't know how many times. His ear's crooked. He won't even keep his head up anymore. He's just tired, I guess. But she grabs that box of matches, lights it, and puts it to Freddie. And right there, I was like, whoa, okay, now let's talk about this. Now you're going too far. And she said, if you don't quit playing with matches and lighting stuff on fire, I'm going to burn Freddie. And so I stopped right there. I think that's where I made my career choice, and was like, I think I'll be a Tulsa firefighter. So, but I stopped. I mean, as a little kid, this meant everything to me, and threatened by fire, I couldn't see that happening. And so he's here with me today, and when I heard I won, I was like, you know, Freddie's got to be there with me. So we made it. Look what we done, buddy. Look what we done. So, but also, I found this old picture of a fire truck, and I was just kind of doing research. I like to look up the history of the fire department. And in my research, it was just an old Aaron's Fox. It served back in 29, and I just trying to see where it was stationed at. And at the time, I just kind of doing research on the internet, and I ran across the annual report from Chief Alder. He was the first fire chief of Tulsa. And this annual report was in 1915. He wrote it, and he wrote it to the city council and the mayor, telling the fire department's activities through the year, the equipment they used, the runs they've made, the fire loss, and amount of dollars. But I read this little paragraph, and I thought it was unique. And I'd like to ask Station 22, come up here if you would, and just line up, and I'll read it. So come on up. These are the people I work with. Just, if you would, just line up and show your pretty face. These are the men and women I work with at Station 22 on A Platoon, which is today, and it's fitting that we hold this ceremony today on A shift, because that's the only shift I've ever worked, and I've totally fallen in love with it in District 2. So Chief Alder's annual report, this article, it said, in looking back over the 10 years since the existence of this department, I can say that the members have given Tulsa the best there was in them, have attended to their duties with the sort of courage and determination that wins battles, have deported themselves as a department in a way that has won the respect and confidence of the citizens. He wrote this in 1915, but when I read it, I said, you can exactly, Chief Driscoll can use this today to describe the firefighters that you guys have in the city of Tulsa. So, and that's the great thing about the fire department, is when you call 911, you're probably gonna get Ginger or Amanda. They're gonna ask you 2 questions: what's wrong, where are you at? And we're gonna get on that fire truck, we're gonna be at your house within 4 minutes or less, and we're gonna fix whatever problem you have. If your heart stopped, we're definitely gonna try to get it going again. If your house is on fire, we're gonna try and put it out. And I guess if your cat's in the tree, I guess we're gonna send Alan up the tree, get it. But like Chief Driscoll said, if you know a firefighter, you see one out in the community, just tell them thank you. And that's enough for me for today. I mean, these firefighters do it every day. So I'll just leave you with that. Thank you.
Congratulations. And now, here to say a few words on behalf of our mayor who could not be here today and to present the Above and Beyond Award for the Police Officer of the Year is Chief of the Tulsa Police Department, Chuck Jordan.
Well, as you know, this mayor is a big supporter of all the employees in the city of Tulsa, and he really regrets being here. He just wanted to say how proud he is to be the mayor and have the police department and the fire department that he has that serves our city. And he wants to thank all the Rotary Club of Tulsa. They didn't have that book, I Want to Be a Firefighter, when I went to elementary school. Who knows, you know? I don't think I ever would have had the cooking or volleyball skills to make it anyway, but thank you, Ray, very much. Greg Comfort is our winner this year. I have been honored and privileged to work with both his dad and Greg. I love these legacy officers. To see some of them outshine their dad, some of them do just as well. These were two outstanding officers, and Greg is, as Lori said, the perfect contrast. He's the tough guy that can go out and face the bad guy and face all the evil that's in our community and do a great job to overcome it and keep us safe. But he's also the same guy that can pour his heart out to kids and give his time and his efforts and his soul to children in our schools, and that's a big deal. If you would, please watch the presentation and learn a little bit about Greg.
It's enjoyable. I was born and raised here in Tulsa, and so this is where you always come back home. So this is home, and so these streets are kind of like they're my streets. These are streets that I grew up seeing as a kid. My dad patrolled these streets with that badge. It was old, and I liked that, and I thought, gosh, and it was Dad's badge, and so I approached him about it and said, I would love to wear your badge, but I know that that's something that's very personal to every police officer, and he didn't even hesitate. He said, I would be honored if you do that. So I had to write a letter to the chief of police at the time and request permission to have his number assigned to me, and that was approved. And so he came to the graduation ceremony and he pinned it on me. So I wear that badge. It was fantastic, and I wear that badge every day on my uniform. I went through the steps, and I too became a 32nd degree Mason, and then was able to get into the shrine, which is more the fun side of being a Mason. So we both got into the Indian unit and started doing dancing and things, and then really diving into our heritage and our culture. And that's what ended up starting me going around to schools and talking to schools. It became a fun thing for me to do just kind of on the side, on my free time, to go talk to kids, because I could do it either as a police officer or I could do it as a Native American, as an Indian, and explain the culture and explain police work. I've had very interesting reactions in a couple of cases when I've walked into the room. I mean, kids just break down crying, they're scared to death, they're upset, or some of them immediately run up to give me a hug, and without ever having seen me, they just run up and grab my leg and squeeze. So it just runs the gamut. So it's helping out people. I think every police officer that came on the police department during their initial interview was asked, why do you want to become a cop? And as far as what I can tell, almost 100% have said, because I want to help people. But as you start to kind of hit the twilight of your career, you start to realize helping people was the important thing that I did here. I was able to help that kid. I was able to help that elderly person get through what they had to get through. And those are the things you remember. I think that too often, too many firefighters and other police officers are really going above and beyond and really helping out our community and doing whatever you can to try and make things right and make things better. And in today's time and the way things are in society and everything, it's nice to have that somebody notices.
Greg, come on up on the stage and join us to receive your award.
Greg, on behalf of the Rotary Club of Tulsa, we are honored to present to you a check in the amount of $2,500 to the charity of your designation, the Oktar Shrine. And we are also presenting you 2 tickets to the 25th Annual Henry P. Ibis Citizen Athletes Award banquet in June, where you will be recognized also. And we also want to present you with a pin, ribbon, and trophy designating your selection as a 2018 Above and Beyond Police Officer of the Year. Congratulations.
Thank you. I wanted to say thank you to the Rotary Club for presenting me this award and for doing what all they do for the community. I know that as a first responder, along with the fire department, that we see sometimes the worst of the city in a lot of ways. It is nice for us to be able to come and be recognized by such a club as this and have these wonderful things said about us. We don't really think about them that much. I probably can speak for Craig. We don't think about them very, very often at all. It's just what we do. It's what we are. When I first, as Lori said, when I first was trying to figure out what I was going to do after college, my dad was sitting at the dinner table and he said, well, you know, you could always go on the police department until you figure out what you're going to do with your life. And I said, well, I was military, I'd been in the military, and I thought, yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, I'll do that until I can figure out what it is that I really want to do. So I ended up applying, I ended up joining and getting to come on, and you have to keep in mind that I grew up seeing his friends come in and out of the house, his police officer friends. They were larger than life, bigger than anything you can imagine, huge personalities, and Chuck, I think, worked with several of these people, but great people. And for me as a kid to watch them, it was something for me to get to play on the A team with these guys. And so that's the way I looked at it, and I thought, gosh, I just get to be here and I get to experience what they do because they're great. And I got to learn from those people about how to be a police officer and what it was to be a police officer and what it was to help people. And I always enjoyed that, never took it for granted, and I've always said thank you for just giving me that chance to be able to serve, that chance to be able to honor the citizens and do right by folks. So. Again, I just want to say thank you. I'll make it very short, but thank you again for the award. I appreciate it until I can figure out what I'm going to do with my life. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Again, congratulations to Greg Comfort. I do want to thank Ty Lewis, a photojournalist with News on 6, for his work on those videos. It's so funny every year when I get to call the winners and say, hey, we're going to sit down for an interview. I get 2 questions. What are you going to ask me? And are you going to make me cry? I don't ever make anybody cry, but one of the things that really touched my heart about both of these interviews is that when they both started talking about their family, that's when they really got emotional. And I love their love of family and their love of tradition and their love of the city. And we are so fortunate to have both of you working on behalf of citizens. So I appreciate you not just as a media person, but as a citizen who lives here. And we thank you and everyone, every police officer and firefighter. So again, what a great time we've had at this luncheon. We want to give our great thanks once again, of course, to the fire chief and the police chief for being here as well and for giving these presentations. And thank you for allowing me to be this year's MC.
I tried to escape there.
I did.
So Lori, we appreciate you so much. I mean, you've been back here so many years emceeing this for us, and it's such an honor to have you here. We appreciate KOTV and the News on 6. But more than anything, we appreciate your acknowledgement and honor of our first responders, because we know you have a heart for them. And so thank you very much. On behalf of the Rotary Club of Tulsa, here's a small token of our appreciation. Okay, so Chief Driscoll, Chief Jordan, we all know it takes great leaders to build great companies and great organizations. And I think the men and women of the fire department and the police department would all agree that we have two great leaders. So we thank you very much for everything you're doing to be leaders in our city. Thank you very much. Now, don't forget, the centerpieces are available for a $20 donation to Above and Beyond if you'd like to take those home or take those back to the office with you. And I want to thank you all for being a part of today's ceremony. I am humbled and honored to be a part of this program, to serve this club, and am so thankful to the committee members who give so generously of their time to make a day like today possible. A day where we recognize and honor individuals who live our motto of service above self each and every hour of each and every day. Roberta and Tiffany, thank you and your committee for such a great program this year. We appreciate you. Now, I encourage you to go out and share your story. Make someone's day and share what you just experienced here today. And again, if you see a police officer or firefighter out on the street, shake their hand, pat them on the back, give them a hug, tell them thank you very much for what they're doing. We are dismissed. Thank you very much for coming.